Welcome back to the Fred Talk Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Valoy. Today's Dolocast. If you don't know, follow me on Instagram at Freddie Valoy, first, last name, super easy. I do questions a lot that people like, and today's episode is going to be based off that. I also do polls. I've done 2 tournaments. They've lasted each about 6 weeks. I ask about 1, sometimes 2, when I'm feeling crazy. I'll do 2 questions, 2 polls. Tournaments. The first one was music. It was In Your Feels, right? What's the best In Your Feels music? And the winner of that one was Adele. There was like over 50 entries, and Adele ended up being the top dog on this one, which I think we can all agree on. I'm sure there's other really good ones, but Adele got that fucking third up on third out. You feel me? And the second tournament was, which just got finished, was Best TV Show. 48 entries, and the winner was The Office. Yes, I know that this one, it pisses a lot of people off. It was Boy Meets World and The Office in the final. Boy Meets World beat South Park in the semifinals. I mean, that pissed me. I mean, nobody was really happy with this tournament. Unless you really like The Office, you got pissed off at some point. Martin beat Seinfeld. I like that one. A lot of people didn't like that one, but I like that Martin beat Seinfeld. But there were some upsets in the first round. Some people were like, "Oh, these two should have went against each other later in the tournament." No. Life ain't all mapped out perfectly mathematically, okay? Sometimes you wake up, you're Seinfeld, and you face Martin right when you wake up in the morning, and you lose, and you got to recover from that, all right? That's just it is what it is. So I used to ask a lot more questions. It's been a while because I was doing the tournaments, but now I'm going to do both. And this week I asked the women, my Instagram followers, which is close to like 70% women, it's not 65%, something like that. Women, I asked them, what is an instant turnoff that a guy does? I actually got this question from an old elementary school friend of mine. He had it on his social. He was actually a guest on the podcast as well. Hunt it. Ask Hunt it, baby. Gregory Williams. And we got some really good answers. So I wanted to just go through those to maybe help you out for some of those men out there. You know what I'm saying? That are looking to be better men, to try to attract the opposite sex. If you're trying to get, you're trying to get women or whatever. If maybe I need to ask gay dudes, well, I guess dudes could have answered too. It don't matter. If you want to appeal to women, you might want to listen. So I'm just going to go through these. The first girl said, breathe. She said, when a man breathes, instant turn off. She's being funny. I got funny broads following me. All right. That's one thing I love about my IG familia. Almost said the person's name. All these are anonymous too. So make sure that you, don't be afraid. It's just going to be between me, you, Mark Zuckerberg in China. That's the only people that are going to know. All right. So make sure you answer honestly. This is a good way to help people out. Smoking, that's a pretty straightforward one. Nobody really wants you smelling like smoke unless you're drunk, and it's just, when you're drunk, I feel like all bets are off. Sometimes that smoke mouth kiss, it just adds to the naughtiness of the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn girl, what you smoking? Some? Is this a Camel Crush Ice? At that point, now you got to judge them off of what kind of cigarettes they're smoking, right? Are you making out with a Marlboro 100s girl or a Virginia Slims girl? You feel me? 2 different women, 2 different outcomes. One will get you for child support. Another one was says he doesn't want kids. That's good. If you're a woman that wants kids, I mean, people say don't ask that on the first date because that's whatever. But I say first date is where you talk about geopolitics, talk about race, talk about religion. Because especially in your 30s, why would you want to waste any time, right? Unless you're not into that. Unless you're the type of person that likes to kind of just waste time and just kind of mull along and just, we'll see where this goes. I don't really want to have the uncomfortable conversation, and we'll just hide everything, and then we'll get married, and then it'll all come out in the wash after the second kid, and then we're both fucked here. Well, definitely the dude, he's going to get work for everything, unless the woman makes more, in which case she would, which I'd like to see more women get fucked in the court system when it comes to alimony and child support, right? For the equality. Girl, make more money than me so I can work you in the court system. I could be the stay-at-home trophy dad that I want to be so bad. You feel me? Oh, this next one was mentioned a couple times. Rude to anyone, especially restaurant and wait staff. I mean, that is a filter if I ever seen one. Someone who's a complete asshole at a restaurant, treats servers like shit. There's some people that like it's like subtly the way they talk to a server. You can tell. I'm like, you don't see this person as a person. They're here to serve you, and you don't see them as a, you know what I'm saying? Just the way they ask. It's like, the words they're saying are polite, but there's this twinge of bitchiness. It usually comes from women. It's that like, excuse me, can I have a? And you're like, oh shit, like what the fuck's gonna happen if they don't get you that ranch, girl? Huh? What's gonna happen if they don't get you that jalapeno ranch or that aioli? You're gonna go to a manager or something like that? That's a pre-Karen. You know, that's not a Karen yet. That's a pre-Karen. But if you let that go, if she just hangs around people that don't let her, yo, why you tripping? Why are you tripping about this aioli ranch? She may turn into a Karen. So let's prevent more Karens, okay? The only reason they exist today was because they haven't been sat down and talked to. And I'm talking about dude Karens too. This ain't just women. Dudes are dicks too. So don't be rude to waitstaff. Straight up. And tip 20%, people. That's it. 10% if it's really bad service. 5% if they ask you to fight in the parking lot. Honestly, I would give a server more money if they wanted to throw hands in the parking lot. I'm like, dinner and a show? Let's go, baby. Let's do it. The next one, road rage. This is one that people, I know when we were younger and shit like that, like I'm 35 now, but like people like to brag about road rage. That's not cute. Stop bragging about road rage, especially if you're over the age of 30. And most definitely if you're over 35. All that means is that you can't control your temper. You fly off the handle and it's usually not even some crazy thing. Some guy might make a mistake. And I might be saying this and speaking compassionately about that because I'm a terrible driver myself. You know what I'm saying? I do fucked up things and I just like, yes, I'm so sorry. Ay, perdóname. I sorry very much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh fuck. Road rage. Don't do it. Also, I don't even like really like people who, one thing I don't get about cars or people in cars is that they act like they can't get pulled out of the vehicle. They start popping off at the mouth like the windows can't break and I can't just reach in and pull you out from the driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even bother looking because everybody likes to act real tough. And if there's one thing you learn when you get older is that most people don't want to smoke. Most people don't want to smoke, the kind of physical smoke. They want to, and they don't want to pop off. And I like that world where we don't do physical violence. But also, don't provoke. Don't provoke and then be surprised when shit pops off. This is like when the UFC fighter Khabib went up against Conor McGregor, fucked up Conor McGregor, and then they attacked the corner. They kept going because Conor McGregor was popping off at the mouth, talking shit about dude's religion, talking shit about his family. And they're Eastern Europeans, bro. They don't fuck like that. You got 90% of life is knowing how to read the room. There's just certain people you can joke with, and to be a truly funny person and not be a complete fucking dick, you got to know the line. And everybody's line is different, and you got to feel it out. So don't pop off half the mouth and then be surprised when it pops off. You're like, oh my God, what? I put my hands under the sink and they got wet. How could this possibly happen? What is going on here? The next one, smells like they haven't showered in 3 days. This one is more specific, but in general, guys, hygiene. This one was mentioned a couple times. Don't have the stink lines coming off your body, right? Clip your nails. I'm guilty of that myself. I let them shits grow. I stopped biting my nails during COVID, and now they just grow long. And I'm like, oh shit! In like 2 weeks, I'm like Wolverine out here. And she said she's giving you three. She said, don't smell like you haven't showered in 3 days. That means you could go 2 days without showering. That's a nice little buffer right there. 48 hours to clean your balls and all that. I personally cannot do that. I'm a very self-conscious of a smelly crotch, smelly ball area, because you never know when it's going to go down. And another thing too, clip your nails, shower, dry your balls. I've talked about this before on my Instagram. I'm telling you, it helps. I got put onto this by my sister's boyfriend. He's like, you just dry them up. He puts sometimes he'll put like a blow dryer to it to get like, because here's the thing, guys. Scrotums are wrinkly. Ball sacks are wrinkly and they hold moisture in those wrinkles. So you got to get in there and you almost got to like spread it apart. You gotta like fucking like you're making pasta. You gotta spread the ball sack and get that moisture. Take some time. It's a little TLC. That's self-care as a man. Put your foot up on the sink and get the angles that you need to get it dry. It will help, especially as these summer months are approaching, all right? Thank me later. I've had a few people reach out and say, thank you so much. A girl reached out and said, I told my man this, and it smells so much better down there. Boom. Look at that. I could shut the podcast down right now. I've already done my duty in the world. There's one less smelly ball sack in there. And then also balls sort of have like a perma smell to them on their own. And you don't want to exacerbate that smell with the day. You feel me? So shower once a day at least. Some people do twice. You know, some people work out, whatever. The next one is instant turnoff. Has weird shit in their house, especially if it's in jars. Okay. This lady has been on a string of dates with Warlocks, and it just hasn't gone well for her. She's, you know, if you're, you might not agree with this. If you're one of the girls that are into crystals and astrology and shit like that, you might only want to be with Warlocks. You feel me? You need to find a sorcerer girl to get up in that. And sometimes you got to have weird shit in jars, you know? Maybe there's some magic mushrooms. Maybe it's cayenne pepper. We don't know what's in there. I'm not going to rat anybody out. But also keep the jars to a minimum, guys. There's got to be fucking rules here, right? Don't just be having jars in your house, because really, what are you doing? Guys, got to take a break in the episode to let you know to support our sponsor, Own the Chaos, at ownthechaos.com to sign up for their stock watch list. This is a useful email that you're going to get, guys. It's the 5 stocks to watch that day, all right? You listen to this podcast to laugh, to think, to get your funny up. Well, these guys are giving you a chance to get your money up. And you can catch me there every Thursday at 3:30, making finance funny. Go to ownthechaos.com and sign up for their stock watch list. All right, now back to the show. Oh, somebody else says, talks poorly about himself, excessive victim mentality. Yeah, nobody wants that. Like, you just beat yourself up. It's just kind of a fucking bummer. Stop. You can't take a compliment. You're just constantly complaining. You're being an energy suck. So do whatever you got to do. I'm not telling you how to do it. Everybody has their own way. Do whatever you got to do to speak better about yourself, especially in front of people, because we all know the internal monologue be wildin'. Like, that'll just go off. That's up and down. Even me, an ultra positive person, I'd be getting fucked up with the own internal monologue. My mom always said, Freddie, your biggest power and your biggest weakness is your mind, my son. You gotta make sure you have it under control, okay? Yeah, so fellas, don't speak poorly about yourself. Don't look at it as a way. You could be honest about maybe some flaws you have, but don't just constantly just be a drag. And when I was depressed, I would say I was doing this. And now that I'm kind of, out of that whole thing, now I've kind of left that like, fuck, the mopiness around for my therapist. It feels like a more comfortable place. I don't want to, I think I feel like almost guilty during my depression years for being such a drag, to my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you have a team, you don't want half the team to just be negative, because then that it fucks up the foundation. So now I feel like the healthiest way is like to express that to my therapist. So that way I get to process and then the relationship itself doesn't suffer. And my girls, especially if you're dating an anxious person, she's an anxious person. I don't want to be adding extra stuff in there with my negativity. So this is another, me advocating for therapy. Couple $100, go once a month. Therapy is like, you can get one for probably anywhere from $100 to $200 a session. Do one session a month and it'll change your life. Some people don't know the cost. They're like, I don't have healthcare. I can't do it. Roughly $100 to $200, depending on the therapist, once a month. You can find $200 in the month, especially if you're boozing and smoking weed. All right. You can still booze and smoke your weed. Just do it a little bit less and you'll have the money to go to therapy. So highly advocating for that. This person said, this is a guy, but he asked this girl and she said vaping. Vaping is not, hold on, let me take a hit of my vape. For some people, vaping is a huge turnoff. So for others, it's a lifestyle, bro. Some girl, maybe some girl wants vape smoke blowing in her coochie. Who knows? Poor grooming, that falls under hygiene. Clip your nails. You can have the the scruffiness going on. Just don't have any smells coming off your body or nails. You know, girls don't want to get scratched and contract fucking diphtheria or contract syphilis from what's hiding under your nail beds, okay? Starts talking about his medical history in detail. This is an older gal. This is one of my followers. She's not one. I have a few. She's I think she's in her 50s or something like that. So maybe definitely as you get older, you know, just keep it easy with the medical history. You know, don't be pulling HIPAA violations on the first date. Just get. I said you could talk about everything on the first date, but just like, you know, especially people get weird about bodily things. Like especially if you're not into like science and anatomy, you're not a doctor. That shit grosses a lot of people out. You know, that might be something you want to hold on to until later on in the relationship. Does not tip. Guys, 20%. 20% is the tip. That's it. And here's my thing. I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to tipping because I'm black and we're known to not tip. So I've had that self-conscious feeling of like, oh, they're going to think I'm not tipping, blah, blah, blah. So you actually got to do quite a bit to me to not get 20%. I'm not saying be like me. I'm just saying tip 20%. And don't talk badly about yourself. What that girl was trying to say, she doesn't want any bitch-ass niggadry around her. Women don't like bitch-ass niggadry around them. Don't be a mopey son of a dirt habits. You know what I'm saying? Rude to wait staff. Oh, hold on. Demands my number to text. Why are we asking for numbers when there's Instagram, there's the dating apps? Like, you already have a form of communication. Let her be like, yo, here's my number for quicker communication. As a dude, you should just always just leave that in their court, have them, whatever, and just reach out through Instagram and just do all the communication through there. Because eventually it's going to come a point where if she likes you, she's going to want a quicker response or hear from you at a quicker time. And she's going to think, well, if I give her my number, then that'll be quicker, and she'll give it to you. Tries to hold hand on first date. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That's a weird first date. Yeah, just keep it at the initial hug and the goodbye hug, and then don't even go for a kiss on the first date. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you the signs. Women will give you the doe eyes or whatever. You'll feel it. 90% of life is knowing how to read the room. Who said that? That's me, dog. That's a quote from your boy, Freddie Valois. I hate that rhymes, and I hate that people have been saying your boy more, but you know what? This is me. This girl, this is a polarizing comment here. If they have a cat, that equals commitment issues. Commitment issues. Have a cat. This guy came in the comments. He was like, this bitch doesn't know what she's talking. I've been married to my wife for 17 years and I have 12 cats. Like, he didn't have 12 cats, but some people say they have, but some people, I asked another question on my Instagram and it says, who do you think's a better lover in bed? Dog people or cat people? And quite overwhelmingly, it was cat people. Not saying you have to have a cat, because some people like cats but can't have them because they're allergic. You know what I'm saying? They're probably great in bed. If you like cats, you're probably good in bed. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. You don't have to own one, but if you kind of like are intrigued by the cat, you probably got a good cat. Hey, no. Mouth breathing. None of that. She doesn't want to be with Brainy from Hey Arnold. I had to look that one up. No mouth breathing. You should be apparently it's healthier to breathe from your nose. I've been trying to do that more. Breathe from your nose. I think it's better for like your facial structure or some shit like that. I don't know. Another girl says, hey cutie. Hey, and hey cutie. What's up, big head? Don't keep it, I don't know, be yourself, but also like, once again, read the room. Hey cutie the next one has soft hands. This girl says she does not like soft hands. You need to be doing some manual labor. Lift some weights. Deadlifts will get you that. Deadlifts, pull-ups will also get you some calluses on your hands. Another girl was like, no, I like my men with soft hands. I like that feeling, blah, blah, blah. This is one that's a little more personal, but here's where I say, and I've said this before, don't don't wear Carhartt and have soft hands, because you're throwing off the whole system at that point. All right. Carhartt is for people that are doing manual labor. They just lost custody of their children. They're going through tough times. All right. They should be handing out Carhartt jackets outside of the courthouse every single day after family court. Okay. Like, hey, buddy, listen, we saw what just went on in there. The nights are about to get a lot colder. That should be a Carhartt commercial. Put me on the Carhartt creative team, dog. Tells me what to do instead of ask, and lives with his parents. That's a tricky one, because some women like to not told what to do, but they kind of want you to take the wheel, but then they also like don't really let you take the wheel. They ask a ton of questions, and the guy gets annoyed, and he's like, do you want me to take the wheel or not? And she's like, yes. And he goes to take the wheel, and they're like, but why are you taking the wheel like that? And the guy's like, God damn it. And lives with his parents. Barring any kind of, some weird shit, maybe you got to do a month or two. But if you're just perpetually living with your parents, you shouldn't be telling anybody to do anything. You should be telling yourself to fill out job applications, to update your resume, to learn a skill, to get your mental health better so that you can get out of that situation. Unless you like living with mom. And if mom's accepting that, there's a whole other level of messed up shit going on there. It's not cool. That means mom was like, hey, don't go out into the world. The world's a dangerous place. Stay here with mom. You can have short ribs. You can have arroz con pollo every single day. You don't have, the world's a scary place. My son, mi hijo, stay with me. You see this a lot in Hispanic cultures. I'm speaking that because I am Hispanic, but it's not something you want to do. It's not good parenting. And I'm not a parent, and I know that. And if any parent wants to come and argue with me about that, come on. Lies. Actually, guys, lies is the last one, but I'm going to get into the next episode, because we're keeping these Dolocast at 20 minutes. So that is part 1 of what turns women off. Love that I get to split this up into 2 episodes, because that makes it easier on me. Part 2 is going to be dropping shortly after this, because we are behind on the month with our episodes. So subscribe, rate, and review to Fred Talk. Please share this with some guys. Please share this with some dudes. We're trying to make better men out there. This podcast is comedy and life and relationships and self-help. It's a lot of things. So that is it for me, guys. Bye.